Humans, I have been told by you and literally no other species that the best things in life are free, and you give them to the birds and bees. But that is a shit deal. Because, like, if they're free, you're not really giving us anything. You're just transferring holdership. Like, I'm happy to take a fun rock you found, but, like, I could have found that. You didn't really do all that much. Sorry, it's cute. Thank you. Thanks for the moment. I will remember it fondly when I have a goddamn minute to remember anything because I'm busy. There was like really only one activity between me and that rock, and you did it for me. Thanks, though. Sweet rock. I will put it on my desk. What you actually gave was the experience of the rock handoff, and that moment entailed, and that is not free. That took your time, and time is money, so that song is bullshit, is what I'm saying. And you're out there giving bullshit to the birds and bees. We want none of it. The bees, maybe. I don't know. I don't speak for the bees. They're like a matriarchal aristocracy. That's too much responsibility. They are industrious. Maybe they'll do something with your bullshit. We birds had the gumption and control back in the before times when we were dinosaurs, and you saw how that ended. So, Stankley, Frankly, Tom Hanksley, fuck off. Give your free bullshit to the bees. Your love, though it does thrill, does not pay the bills. Yet still, some people gots to have it. Some people really need it. Do things, do bad things with it. The dollar's up, down, you better buy the pound. Money, 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 money! It's a gas. Must be funny, always sunny in a rich man's world. But that's all song and dance. Poetry is not cold, hard cash. Sorry, fuckers. I know we always say we're not going to do this, but we are because we have to. We got to do some math. In life, in nature, you can physically tell when a storm is coming. You can feel it, see it, objectively nose the petrichor. There, I just gave you a high-priced word. That'll be $20, by the way. You can Venmo me. When it comes to money, there's really no natural vibe about it. There's no reaction in nature when the Dow goes up and down. The only way I know what's happening is because the broligarchy will not shut the vanilla Huel Black nutritionally complete ready-to-drink meal up about it. They say it is seismic. But I go outside, it's still a planet, the streets are still there, the sky is still misty gray unless it's blue, which means get outside, Chicago, this will not last! Money, however, is a verifiable record, a social convention that you all agree is used to exchange for goods and services, debts, taxes, and occasionally completely blow on a gal's trip to Nashville. No regrets! If you know YOLO. The money is the paper trail, mutual math. I'm not saying it's not fun. Of course it is. Don't believe me? Crack that ceramic pig open and stack some nickels and dimes and quarters whilst you make a lovely collage out of your pennies. It is a game, humanity. Who doesn't love fucking games? But it's got consequences that are very naturally, physically real, so you got to play responsibly. Especially if you're playing Monopoly. Monopoly! The game of top hats and fat stacks. Roll dice, avoid prison, and thrill to the excitement of pricing your friends out of taking a stroll. Previously owned by Parker Brothers, now currently Hasbro, brah, no cap. Began its life as the Landlord's Game in 1903 by Elizabeth Lizzie McGee. It's easy to remember, 1903 by Lizzie McGee. That'll be important later. Take notes, we're doing math. Coming off the Gilded Age, Lizzie McGee was a political woman, which means she just gave a fuck about what was going on. Like, really going on. Captains of industry, rubber barons, fat cats, land grabbage, and she was really looking for a way to get the word out. But, like, who wants to do math? So she knows humans dig games, even when you're currently trying to survive in one run by the wealthy elite. Wait a second, hold the fuck on. Light bulb moment. What about a game just about existing in a rich man's world? At the time, the richest 10% controlled about 90% of the nation's wealth. What's that like, we ask, and laugh 2025-ly. Lizzie began talking up her idea in public to people in the face because they didn't have Wi-Fi in 1903. Barbaric. Quote, "It is a practical demonstration of the present system of land grabbing with its usual outcomes and consequences." She wrote in a political magazine, quote, "It might as well have been called the game of life as it contains all the elements of success and failure in the real world, and the object is the same as the human race in general seems to have, i.e. the accumulation of wealth." Lizzie was super into Henry George, who was an economist, brag, back in the day, developed the single tax theory. Basically, you own what you make, the land belongs to everybody, tax the rich until everybody's got shit, but those rules suck. We want blood. So much was she into Henry George that he was even homaged in her original board game, which, by the way, also had two separate economies going on at the same time, where you could be an anti-monopolist and reward all the players when you get money, and then also a monopolist set of rules where you could grab all the property and financially annihilate everybody else. All of this was in response to her current situation, but like, have you met humans? They're famously terrible at paying attention to what the fuck were we talking about? Trick question, I know you forgot, that's why I told you take notes. Anyway, Lizzie McGee in 1903 figures out her new game/sneaky economic inequality lesson and brings it to the U.S. Patent Office, wham bam shang-a-lang America. But then, 1932. This guy, Charles Darrow, hears about this game from a pal, gets a hold of the rules, repackages it as Monopoly, but only the part where you take everything and scorch earth on the other players, like I'm saying, that's the fun part. Sold it to Parker Brothers, who then went to Lizzie McGee because they knew Charles didn't do shit, and bought the rights from her for $500, no royalties. Not telling her how big the game was getting after being published in 1935, while also buying up the rights to games with similar themes, thus creating a monopoly on monopolies. The circle was complete! The hellmouth was open! Cash Thulu reigned for 100 years! Eventually, Lizzie McGee would get the credit she deserved in 1973, but only after she had died. Lost her game to a game within a game. Is that irony? We do not have time to get into it. That's too expensive. But here and now, Monopoly has survived. So popular was it and is it that it is baked into your DNA to know what to do when you pass go, or what you do not get to do when you go directly to jail, where it doesn't matter if you are a shoe or a car, anyone can bankrupt their siblings, take from them everything, mortgages and all, leaving them a sobbing mess of poverty after dinner. That's how you learn the game, the math, the money. So when I heard the latest version of Monopoly coming out in honor of the 90th anniversary of Monopoly is going to be cashless, I felt it was necessary to call the game and remind you of the math. March 1st, 2025, 90 years after Charles Darrow stole Lizzie McGee's Landlord's game, Hasbro has announced that the latest edition of Monopoly will be Monopoly App Banking, wherein a, quote, smartphone or tablet takes over the role of the banker and keeps track of every player's money and property, eliminating the need for piles of multicolored, thin-papered reminders of the money you're snatching from your nearest and dearest. And I say that because it takes a certain amount of love and patience to agree to play Monopoly with someone. But I warn ye, humans, I may be a bird. I may have no claim to a greenback $1. Apparently, all me and the bees get are free shit. But in my humble avian opinion, this is not a game. Regardless of how, quote, fun Monopoly actually is, math is 75% of the entire fucking thing. You take that away, what the fuck are we even doing? There's like 3 things you do in Monopoly, and you've removed 2 of them. At this point, you're just walking your shoe around the board and Venmoing. You can do that outside. The whole point of the game was to teach economics and how easy it is to get fucked over when you're not looking or paying attention. You took the math away and gave it to Zell? Plus, any human adult with a child old enough to play Minecraft knows how little fucking kids understand about what the fuck money is. Until you hold it, see it, get it, and physically, naturally deal with it, then it's just XP. Lizzie McGee did not spend her life raging against the machine with dice and cards, only to have the system completely smoke her by buying up Park Place and Boardwalk, leaving her to wander the streets of Baltic and Mediterranean so that your kids could learn how to PayPal. How will your children learn the stalwart responsibility of being the bank in a game that can turn any cousin, bestie, or sibling into a full-on feral coke-snorting yuppie when they can finally afford to build hotels? How? How are you going to learn that Tiffany is not actually bad at counting? She's fucking cheating! How are you supposed to learn that the reason Travis is insane is because his family plays fucking free parking rules, which is not how you're supposed to play the game? When in life do you ever get money for parking? You want to leave the whiplash of realizing what money can do to a human, be thy neighbor or family, through a fucking app? I think Lizzie McGee would agree that in order to survive this modern world, you got to make the kids so goddamn paranoid. They stash Monopoly money in their fucking mattresses before they take it to the mobile banking. It's necessary fucking math. What's next? Sonar and Battleship? Sugar-free Candyland? Chutes and ladders? Oops, all ladders? I guess sorry was too real for you. We'll just call it no worries. YOLO, YOLO, a crypto's life for me. Look, humans. I don't have any feathers in the game, by the way. I'm just happy for the bread. I just figure a game designed to teach about how nasty capitalism could be shouldn't be automated. Because money may not be natural, but human nature is. So learn it well before you get lost in someone else's game. And that is just the math. I love you. Good night.
Chad, the bird. We love you, Chad the bird.
Nailed it.